Okay, so I'm going to kick things off. I got a couple of emails about getting access into your actual courses because some people are not being able to access, say, you're taking for immunology and you're not able to get into the actual immunology shell. You can get into my tester shell, but you can't get into that. And I did a little checking on that, and it seems that the department has to play a role in getting you added into the actual course. Is anybody here having that problem? Yeah, because were you the one that emailed me? Yeah, and so we will. I think we can do it, but typically the department is going to have to add you. So we'll try to get it done. And Christy and actually I'm going to take a minute. You guys got to meet everybody got to meet everybody, but Brett is new today. So let me kind of explain who I am, and then explain who the rest of these folks are. My name is Rachel, and I'm actually faculty in molecular biology. Yeah, right. Have we met?
It's been a while. I was in MedMicro.
Oh my gosh, yeah, see, I thought you looked a little bit familiar. And so, I'm kind of out of context here, but we decided to jump onto the Canvas training bandwagon because it's just cool, and we're enjoying learning it, and my TAs and I pilot it this semester. So these are 3 of my TAs who have been piloting it, so they jumped on, yeah. And this is Josh and Sydney and Kyle. And then for everyone else, I know some of you know Christy, but Christy is the shizness. She's kind of the overarching, was on the Canvas selection committee, and she's able to be here today and wasn't able to be here last time. So she's here to maybe let us know if there are sort of more overarching godlike decisions that need to be made. She's the one who can help us with that. So I promised you to talk a bit about the syllabus this morning, and maybe just getting your syllabus into your shells. And I know that for some of you that may be an issue, and for others of you it's not. But I'll go through it and spend a little bit of time on it. It's really pretty easy. Before I do that, I thought I might just show you the announcements. And I know that Kyle went through this last time, but one of the things that I did, I guess it was day before yesterday or early this week, was to add an announcement to announce the Canvas training meeting. And how many of you guys did get that through Canvas? So cool. So that shows you just how your students would receive some sort of announcement that you would make. And when you do go to announcements, you can just give a title to it, write in whatever you want to say, and you can even add attachments onto it right there. And then you just hit save, and it goes ahead and makes that announcement. When it sent it to you, this is something I'm not sure of, did it send you just the link to the YouTube video and you can access it right through your email? Yeah, so pretty cool stuff. And back on the announcements, you'll see where that announcement was, and it actually does log and catalog all of your varying announcements. So that being said, I'll go ahead and pop into the syllabus, and we'll take a moment to look at all of the options that you have there. One of the things that did come up from our meeting last time was this concept of content migration and trying to bring things over from your eCompanion shell right into Canvas. And we're trying to actually discourage people from blindly transferring things over without thinking about how Canvas is a little bit different and how maybe it might do certain things better. The syllabus is kind of one of those things. It does something that is very much unlike what you've probably come to be familiar with in eCompanion. And that is that every single time you add something to the assignments or to the due dates or to the calendar, Canvas automatically puts it into your syllabus. So say I go in and I put exam 1 on the calendar, it's going to immediately show exam 1 on this list. So that's kind of cool. It actually builds your syllabus in real time. And the maybe downside of this is that certainly, as we said before, it kind of empowers students. And so remember last time when Trevor made the sample quiz and actually published it inside of Micro? That day when I got to Micro, my students were like, Rachel, what's this quiz 1? Am I supposed to be doing this quiz 1? And so it immediately went up on their schedule and on their syllabus and on everything and was saying, quiz 1 due, and they had no idea what it was. And so obviously anything you do, they see. So it's got a little bit of ups and downs on whether that's a good thing, especially if you're just demoing something, but that is how that will work. Now, that being said, a lot of times you also want to upload your syllabus, your actual syllabus that you're passing out in class. And so if you just want to upload it, that is one way that you can go about it. So up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the Edit Syllabus Description button, and you just click on that. And then this enables you to upload files. And so the second tab over will allow you to upload a file. And you can upload a PDF document, you could upload a Word document, whatever it was that you maybe wanted to have linked there. Yesterday, I went ahead and uploaded the PDF document for my course and just have linked that here. But clearly that doesn't display in Canvas. They just click on it and then it downloads and they can see it that way. So sometimes you may want to do something a little bit more. So I'm actually going to go ahead and bring in, and this sounds sort of antiquated, but what I did when I built my syllabus was I just started by copy and pasting it in. So I'm just going to grab it from Word and just show you what happens when I copy and paste it in. And what's amazing is that it really comes in quite well formatted. And even the tables come in as tables. Yeah. So pretty easy. And then you can just update your syllabus, and then it will bring in the actual syllabus itself. But maybe now you start to see, like, oh, this is pretty cool. It's pretty easy to build the syllabus in there. I think I'm going to add some pictures to it. Maybe you want something a little, jazz it up just a little bit. So that's one of the things that I did in mine. So you can actually go back and edit and insert images. And maybe you just want a picture of wicked cool fungal growth or something. Find a good picture. I don't know, how about streptolysin-O? Why not? Little strep throat this morning? Everyone loves a good strep culture. Why not? It's in honor of the MedMicro student in the crowd. So that then can jazz it up just a little bit. Maybe you want something there that draws their attention. So you can just play around with the syllabus and make it customized to your class and to your needs. Who has questions on working with the syllabus? And pretty easy. Once it's in there, you can totally format it. Like maybe you don't like the font that it came in with, but you can go through that. But it's pretty neat that like even just copying and pasting, you get the tables are formatted well and everything looks good. Yeah.
The dates that show up there,
Yeah.
populating from the calendar?
They are,
Okay.
and from everywhere. So they're populating not only, well, if you add it to the calendar, it will populate here. If you add it to the assignments, it will go to the calendar and it will go here, right? So it's like one move made one place will make it happen everywhere. It's kind of fun, yeah. Okay.
And if you also want, some people, if they don't want to use the syllabus function, probably just go to your main page and then sorry.
Right, true.
For simplicity.
Yeah, which again, customizable.
If you, some people don't want those dates to automatically populate, and that's the only way to get around that. You can't make it stop, so you have to hide the syllabus, and then you can just create a different syllabus. Although they are awesome because they auto-update and everything, so they're actually awesome to use. So the only people, I mean, I think that as you move forward, it's a good idea to learn how to use that correctly because I think people are not using it because of an old paradigm. But it's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think you can you hide Syllabus and then link it on your own page? Not like,
Yes,
Yeah,
can,
you could
but
do
it'll
that.
still have those dates.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
It just wouldn't be visible to the students, yeah, which is an option. Yeah. Cool. Well, I'll pass over to Kyle, and he's going to be talking about the conferences tool, or Big Blue Button, also known as. So if you guys want to hit on conferences, we're...
You guys can just use Josh's and this.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping an eye on Josh.
What we'll do is actually have a session so that you can see what it would be like from the student's point of view. And
Let's put it here. Can everyone else log on? Yep, okay. Just so you guys can join the conference and get an idea of. Oh, wait, what was your problem with logging on? Oh.
Too far running off is that don't join the session before Kyle joins, because this is one little weird thing, is that if you do, you take over control and you're in charge. So that happened in my office hours the other day, and I'm like, guys, who's in charge? Who's in charge? You need to relinquish the control, and we couldn't figure it out, so we had to log back out and start a new conference. So the key thing is that we let him get in first, and then everybody else.
And there's two
follows.
pieces of that. If you start the conference and you get in and you're in charge and you're editing good, and then you leave it for some reason because you need to restart it, you go back in, you've lost control. And then pretty much in that scenario, it doesn't seem like anybody has control actually. So as an FYI, once you go in early and stay there. Don't leave.
Yeah, which is odd because Canvas explicitly says like that students cannot log in after or before you log in. So I don't know why that is. Yes. Okay, so everyone go to their conference tab, and when you first go there, you'll see new conferences and concluded conferences. Basically, the only thing to know about the concluded conferences is that if you record it, you can go here and rewatch it, which is helpful for students who might miss the conference that you just had. Also, it's saved for 14 days. I don't know if that can be changed. It probably can, but that's what it is for now, so 2 weeks. Okay, so I'm going to start a new conference. This is what you guys are going to be joining. Kind of the host software is termed Big Blue Button. In this case, I guess it should be Big Brown and Gold Button. But so you can change duration. The basic layout of conference is pretty simple. You have your record option. If you do click this, then when students go to concluded, they can rewatch it. And then you have your no time limit option too. Basically just if it goes for a long time. So the other important part of this is that you can invite certain people if you just want to meet with, say, one person for a small group study session, or say a one-on-one. So I'm just going to invite all course members so I don't have to find everybody, and then I'll create a conference. As with everything else, you can delete it or edit it by going over to the sidebar. So I'm going to start it. And what this means is that you guys should be able to join once it gets going. Oh, and it's always going to ask you for permission to use Adobe just so the video camera and speaks can work. And you can always change these settings later. Oh, sweet. Okay. So it looks like most people or everyone got on. So pretty much as I was talking about before, you have your different windows, and these can be adjusted depending on kind of the format or type of style of conference that you want to have. So before I get into that, you have your basic options for yourself on how you want to share or how you want to do the conference, and you have your audio option, share my desktop, or share my webcam. So say you want to actually talk directly to students, click share my webcam. So it's super integrated, pretty awesome. If you want to show them something else on your desktop, you have the share the desktop option. So pretty much these options up here are pretty much your own options in terms of how you are going to be shown to the students. The other important thing is this panel is kind of where you can moderate everything. So I know, like Rachel was saying, if a lot of kids have their speakers on, she can hear everything that is going on in the background, which is not a good thing if you have like 30 people.
And I will have oftentimes a whole group, like they'll all, 5 people will get together and all log in as one person. And then when they log in and they have their speaker on, it's like a rock band in the background, So Kyle has the power to mute you.
Yes. Rachel was also saying that they can technically unmute or mute themselves, but you also have the lock button. So another thing, as I was saying last time to point out, is I was saying the hover option is super critical in terms of like kind of figuring things out. So if you ever have a question, you just hover, and it should be pretty self-explanatory. The other basic idea on this panel is you can change presenters. And so this is if maybe you want the student to explain something. Once you do this, it means that they have control to your presentation board. So the next important thing is, so you have your moderating panel. The next important part is how do you upload content? And you do that by clicking the Upload Content button, which should be...
Oh, you gave control over
Oh, that's why. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so you can also upload multiple files, which is awesome, because you can like switch through, say, different different pictures, different lectures. So I'm just going to grab one. Can I use this? Okay. I want to just making sure.
I don't know what it is. It's something fascinating, I'm sure.
Okay.
Always. Lecture 20 is fascinating.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So so then you have your lecture, and when you're going to teach with the lecture, this is also pretty self-explanatory, but you have your whole toolbar on the side where you can draw, highlight stuff, and yeah, that's more for something that you guys can play with. And to chat with someone, you have your public comment thing on the side. And also, I think you can, one sec. Okay, yeah, so it's a public commenting box. And then if you want to chat with someone privately, you just go to the options bar. And lastly, as I was talking about when I first opened this up, you can kind of configure the windows. You can configure. You can configure the windows to kind of. You can configure the windows to kind of cater to the kind of style that you want to do, so you guys can play with this too. So just go down to where it says default, and you can switch this depending on what you might be wanting to do. So, and if you want to, you can also just drag the windows around yourself. So, oops. Oh, hello. So, okay, so that's pretty much basically everything. If you want to be super cool and fast, you can probably go up to shortcuts and learn all the shortcuts for it. And if you speak a different language, say you're doing a Spanish class, I guess you can also change the language. I'm not sure if that actually changes everything, so I'm going to check. We'll do German. Yep, okay, cool. Okay.
And we do have some instructors using the full platform in Spanish. I know for sure that they can actually change the language.
Yeah.
The instructor can make it so it is Spanish.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So that's basically it. And just remember that you can also upload multiple files.
Okay, so a quick question based on that. How
Yep.
to switch between files with Level 11?
Yeah. We're going to do this. All right.
There is a little bit of a pause in between the switches. But it's not bad at all. I mean, most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
And then just hit on plus. See both of them and
Yeah.
decide which one you want to choose.
Oops. Sorry.
Yeah, I think you uploaded the same one.
And that's what you're.
Oh, there we go. You saw a little flash. I uploaded the same one. I was like, why is it? So what? Okay, yeah. Any other questions? And you guys might have more when you actually get to be using it, but
And actually, I'll take a minute just to show you a recording of one of the sessions. It was actually my office hours.
Yeah,
So you can
okay.
just see what that looks like.
I forgot to mention Josh's doing the hand raising feature.
Oh, yeah.
Not that yet.
You're back here. Yeah. Yes, Josh. No. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and switch back to my Gen Micro shell just so that I can show you all the recordings that we have from Big Blue. Which I didn't even think about the fact that they changed. That is so funny that they changed the colors, and so it's no longer a big blue button.
Yeah, but that's the company name.
Yeah,
The company
but it
name.
used to be a big blue button.
The reason it's called that is because if you use it just outside of Canvas, the idea is that it's one button. You hit the big blue button and it starts. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Simplicity.
So what you can see on here is that my office hours for the entire semester are in the concluded conferences now, but notice that only the ones that took place in the last 14 days still have an active recording. But that works really pretty well for my students anyway, because they probably don't need to access office hours from further back, although we are coming on the final exam. And one could argue that maybe keeping those recordings for longer would be a good idea. And as I had mentioned, Canvas wasn't having an option to record at all when we started this semester. We did the forums and said, can't we record, and they've changed it. So it could be that by the time next semester rolls around, they will have an option to keep them for longer.
We actually, it's a thing, we need a contract with Big Blue, but which we will have.
Okay,
We will have by next
cool.
So right now it's just 14? Is that what it was?
Yeah, 14 days. Mm-hmm.
But next semester it will be, I don't know, it'll probably be the semester. I don't know, we don't have the contract yet, but it will be more.
So you can go back then and view an old office hour. And a lot of my students will do this, particularly when I hold an exam review. They'll go back to the exam review later and can go through it. So then it's really kind of nice because you can just, you can either clip through the screens, or you can actually play it from start to finish and see the comments that were happening there too.
So it's just any office hours that you held and recorded, so it doesn't have to be specifically with the student that's looking at it?
Right.
Okay, so
Right.
you can access anything then?
Exactly. Which is a great feature, assuming you want that access. If you had, say you met with a student for an individual one-on-one, you wouldn't want to hit recording for that because it was maybe a confidential meeting or one that you didn't want to share, but yeah.
So if you're going to start the office hour for, say, 10 minutes early, so that way no one else takes control or anything like that?
Yeah,
So all that 10 minutes of nothing would be recorded?
it would. Yep. But the nice thing is, so this is what they can do once they re-access it later. You've got the whole, the typical scroll bar that you can run through and find. And sometimes the nice thing about that is maybe as a student you were only interested in one question from the homework. And so maybe you go back to that and just have that one question reviewed for you, and you didn't have to sit through the entirety of office hours. And the comments and whatnot are recorded as well. So that's what it looks like when you're reviewing it in reflection. Okay, I will let Sydney and Josh go. And they're going to talk to you a little bit more about Speedgrader and grading assignments, because last time we didn't have a mock assignment in there, so it was hard for us to show you how it would actually work as you were grading an assignment. So we've done that this time.
So we have a couple mock assignments that we looked at this time. Let's go back to our training shell. Whatever. So one thing that's nice about Speedgrader is also on Canvas, you can see it on the side right here, your to-do list. So it's like paper 1 was one, like these are our 2 mock assignments. Like one paper needs grading. It tells you like who hasn't submitted, how many you have left to grade, and the assignments that have been submitted that you do need to grade. So I'll just look at the paper 1. Josh can look at the sample quiz. So this assignment you make, like if you are in English and you have essays that people need to write, and they can upload their files this way, or like lab reports if you're doing a lab, and they can upload lab reports this way. And so you can still use the Speedgrader to grade the assignments that you do that way. And so just like, what's nice about Speedgrader also is you don't have to go out of it to get to a different student. We only have one test student with a paper, but you can hit this arrow and you can kind of just keep going. So as you're going through, you can grade your paper for your one student, give them their grade, whatever it may be, and you can give them comments as you're doing it, and it's all in one for them to see. And like Rachel said before, like they automatically get those updates. Like if you comment on something, they can get that email that knows that you said something to them, so they can get in and actually look at it instead of having to go and dig through to find those comments. So one thing with this, I was gonna say, where did it go? I'm trying to get back. How do I get back to Canvas? Here we go.
Or that works too.
So how this assignment worked is if you go to assignments, and this is the paper 1, you can add the assignment, and I think we went through it a little bit last time. And just how this one is different than the one that Josh is going to show you is that from a student view, you can add your rubric and everything else like that they can see, which is really nice. You can have everything in that one spot for them to look at the assignment. And in student view, you can't see it, but like over here, instead of having all these options, it'll be like submit assignment or something like that, and it's where they can just click and upload a file. So you can have it where we talked about the quizzes, and Josh is going to talk more about a different type of assignment, but in this one, if you have a paper or a lab report or something like that, you can still use this where they can upload their files, but you can still use that Speedgrader option and all those like nice comments and the speed of just clicking through students and being able to grade that way. So I'll let Josh talk about the other assignment.
So the other assignment we have, instead of submitting a paper, is a quiz that you've actually programmed into. Max confused me immensely. There we go. I don't want to go back to assignments. Oh, where's Taga? There it is. All right. Is a quiz you actually program into Canvas. There's a couple different question formats. I'm sure we've talked about that all. You have like your multiple choice answers, which Canvas will grade for you automatically. What did we call that? Sample quiz. That's right. So you can just go to the gradebook, go into the Speedgrader, and look at all those answers. Where's our question 1? Describe what a gram stain looks like. And then question... there, that's better. So question 3 was just a straight-up multiple choice question. So Canvas was able to grade that by itself. You can add comments to each of those questions individually. You can go through and say, oh, I think this essay was worth half a point. It's not, it might be the right answer, but it's not a perfect answer. And so it only gets 0.5. And then this will get a 1. And then you're done grading. You just click on through to the next person. It'll save your grades. There's no other button to press. We have Shaggy and Bam Bam. Oh, I do actually have to hit update grades. Never mind. But it saved all those grades for me, so it knew that I was going to not know what I was doing today. Why is this so small? Update scores, and then it'll update everything. It'll put the total out of 4 over there. And the nice thing about how Canvas grades is that there's always this option at the bottom for fudge points. So if some question glitched out on you when you were programming the quiz and everybody's getting it wrong, you can just go through, and instead of reprogramming the question, you can say, I messed that up. Everyone should get another half a point of credit on that. Scroll back over to update scores. Update scores, it'll get that 0.5 showing up, and so problem solved. That happened to us once this semester. Someone tried like a fill-in-the-blank question, and Canvas swapped the blanks. So we just went in and added fudge points for all those people that the blanks got switched on. Said, sorry, 0.5. That way you don't have to change the question, so the people who didn't get glitched out don't have their scores change. People who did get their scores glitched out get it fixed. And it's great. And everyone's happy.
And the neat thing now is that there is, if you go back, say you did make a mistake, you hit the wrong answer for a multiple choice question, you can go back and regrade, and it will regrade the question. And that was something that you can never get. Like, you'd have to go manually through every single question because you messed up one multiple choice question. And now you just go in, you hit regrade, you hit republish. It will notify the students your assignment has been regraded automatically, and they get the proper credit.
And within that, too, there's several different options. If you're feeling kind of draconian, you can, when you switch the answer, you can say, well, if they got it wrong, or if they got it right, but it's the wrong answer, then they're going to lose that point. Or there's the option, if they answered it right or correctly before you changed it, they'll keep their score, and the people who answered it correctly after you change the answer will get their new score. And then there's also an option to go through, if you've just completely messed it up somehow, to manually regrade everyone. So it's very intuitive, and it's very flexible in what you need to get done. And it's great because it's not eCompanion.
Yeah, it's just nice that you can have different essays and different forms of question and still use that Speedgrader. Like I said, you can have your uploading files and be able to use the Speedgrader. You can have the multiple choice mixed with essay questions or short answer questions and still get to use the feature. And plus there's like 50 ways to get into Speedgrader. So it's not like having to remember like some obscure path. Because like how Josh showed you, you can go through and get to it through the gradebook, or even if, oh, stop it. What is this doing? There you go through. Shut up. You can go through for assignments, and when you're looking at a specific assignment, like the sample quiz, it also gives you the options over here to like get quiz statistics and just get into Speedgrader that way. Also, if you're looking at it, or even when you're looking at specific individual students' grades, if you're looking through the gradebook, you can click on a specific student and get more details in Speedgrader. So like say somebody like recently, like yesterday, somebody had a problem with their pre-lab questions. They got a question wrong and they didn't know which question, so we don't let them see it right away, and they wanted to know why they got it wrong. And that way you can go and just find that one student in your list of gradebook and click on their name, and then it says more details in Speedgrader. You can click on that and it just takes you directly to theirs. So like just not going into Speedgrader generically and flipping through, and take you directly to their quiz in Speedgrader, so you can look through and figure out which question it was, so you can kind of get to them faster instead of scrolling through as well.
And the other thing too is I had a student who was reviewing her pre-lab score, and that's when we found out that the questions had been swapped. So she just sent a notification, like a copy of that report through Canvas to my email, and so I was able to go directly to her assignment to look at what was going on, say, oh, well, something's happening, and fix it that way. It's
Yeah, I just wanted to say something too on Speedgrader. I think that this paper, the format, it's like text edit or something. But if the student uploads a PDF or a .doc, I think it'll go into the same way that the blue button is kind of an outside source. Is that they it uses crop docs, which means you can like highlight stuff and then you guys use Google Docs, so it's like highlight and then a real comment. So it's the same as the same thing will happen here if they have that certain format. And if that doesn't work, then you can probably just download the submission and then edit it outside and re-upload. So yeah, that's just to so you can actually edit the actual paper instead of having to just give a general, say, media or comment on the output.
All of the Speedgrader stuff works on an iPad, and an awesome Speedgrader app for an iPad that you can just like flip through.
cool.
On an iPad and do it.
I didn't know that.
And we were thinking it would be fun to devote some time to the mobile aspect of Canvas at some point. So, yeah, praise for that. Or if you guys would like to do that sometime soon, we can try.
And if you want to add a comment, you just type in your comment and say submit comment, and then the students will get to see what you say about them.
Can you submit comments to all the students or just one student at a time? So, for example, you can submit the quiz or the test result, and you can have additional comments of why this is the correct answer. Is it possible to do so that like all students can see it?
That's a good question. I would probably end up making a quiz you can, but
I think as you're writing the quiz, there's a way to set it up so that after they've answered everything and they're done with the quiz, something will pop up and say, oh, this is true because blah, 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 and you got this wrong because blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then what we do typically, like with, say with the homework assignment, after it has been due for everyone, that's when I finally go in. And Sydney showed us last time that the settings where you can release, you can decide whether you want to, was that you that showed us that? I can't remember. But if you want to release just the, you have them review their own answers but not the correct answers, at the time that they submit the quiz, you'll set that setting. And then later you can go in and say, now I want them to be able to review the correct answers, and that's when the explanation will come up. So it's really
And that's all we have about Speedgrader. Unless anyone have any questions?
So actually, we were hoping, Christy, to talk a little bit about content migration with it, and getting things from your e-component and
One thing I think one thing I can add with a Speedgrader, there's with Speedgrader with grading, there's an opportunity to create rubrics that are really, really slick. I'm not going to be able to show this, am I? Let me log out. Which is really, really awesome because you can, if you use rubrics of any kind, it makes it really, really slick and easy. Let me show you on my class really quick on a rubric. Go back. I gave him points for it. So this is a paper, and as Kyle was saying, you can go in here and you can comment on it. So I can do all kinds of stuff. I can add comments here. I can highlight things and say, this is whatever, all that kind of stuff. I should probably undo that. Can I undo that now? Oh, good. Somebody's going to get. Anyway, but so that's really cool, and they'll be able to do that. But what's really, if you have a rubric, you can create a rubric, and then you say View Rubric, and then you just go through and say, oh, it's this, and you just click on it, and it'll automatically calculate the score for you. You have to set the rubric ahead of time, but it's really cool, and you can go down, and then there's a way so that when you save it, it actually automatically will put the grade in here. So it's a really sweet little rubric thing. So yeah, just wanted to show you that. So we can talk about how to create a rubric at some point. The rubrics are a little complicated to create, but once you get them created, they're awesome for grading. So let me really quickly run in here and show you, content migration. Okay, so let's see. Let me just open up a eCompanion class. Oh, come on. Yes, but that's where it's coming from, and that's a good thing. Okay, so basically this is a cut and paste process. It's the easiest way. There's other ways to do this, but honestly, the easiest thing to do is actually just copy and paste. That's all there is to it. There's no good way of going about this. But a couple of little caveats that are really important to know. So what you would do is you would go into eCompanion, you go into your author mode, and then you're going to go into, the best thing to do is to go into the HTML and just click on the HTML button down here. And then you're just going to go in and select all of it and copy it. And then you're going to go into somewhere here, I don't know where, let's just create something. We'll just make a page. So it's not a bad idea when you're doing this to actually go through and figure out where you're going to put, I mean, I just kind of winging it right now, but it's a good idea to have the structure kind of set up before you go so you have thinking about where it's going to go and how you're going to do it, and not,
that you would do that if you were actually doing this for real. So I copy the HTML from this. So up here on Canvas, the switch views gives you the HTML view. So that's just, instead of saying HTML, it just says switch views. So right now we know we're in the WYSIWYG, the what you see is what you get view, because you can see all the buttons here. But if we switch views, you can see that I just have an open thing, and that's an HTML. So I just go in and paste it there. Now, let me scroll down. Why is this not scrolling down? There we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and save these changes, and this is what you got. Now, there's a couple of things here that are interesting, or things that are important when we look at these other ones. Is the formatting isn't bad, okay, which is cool, and it brought my YouTube video over, which is cool, but it did not bring the picture over. Now, the interesting thing about this is sometimes on some computers it will. It doesn't actually bring it, it just pretends to bring it. And so you think, oh, look, it brought the picture. That didn't actually, it's just showing up at the moment, and then it disappears the next time you go in. So I don't know what happens. Actually, I do know what happens when you have both of them open. Sometimes it will follow the path to the old one when you're authenticated and when you're not. So there's a couple of, so if you have links that are going to outside sources, they will work when you move them over. If you have links that go to inside sources, so it's something within eCompanion, meaning that if I linked to a document within eCompanion, if I went into here and I had a link in here that went to a document that was inside of eCompanion, it's not going to work, right? Because the document is in eCompanion. The picture doesn't work because it is located in eCompanion. So that's why that's not working either. So the easiest way to do this is to actually, and people have done this multiple ways, but this is the easiest way. I had to move my entire class in like 2 days. So I found the easiest way to do this, is just to right click on it, and not working on this computer. Anyway, let's go back to the course view. We'll do this. If you right click on it, you can save the image. So I usually just save the image as, download it to the computer, and then go back into Canvas. We can actually just do the whole process here. I'll save it somewhere, to your desktop or somewhere. Oops, where'd it go? And then you just go into Canvas, say edit this page, get rid of that, and then say image. And if you have a email or an image that's out on the web, this is great. You can just go in and find it. You can also go to Flickr and actually search for something, which is really cool. These are both really cool, and it automatically finds things that are open that are Creative Commons, so that they're available for you to use, which is really cool. The other way to do this is you're going to go to Images, and you're going to upload a new image from the desktop. And then we'll just upload that to the course files in a minute. Hopefully not that long. And if you would do this with documents too, you're going to have to go to in eCompanion, if you have documents in there, you'd have to download them and bring them up the same way into your files. Don't know why this is taking so long, but I'll just show you. This one's already been uploaded. Basically, it's going to upload. So you just click on that, and it will automatically, did not do it. Oh, there it goes. Automatically embed it for you. If you want the text to, this particular picture is too big, but let me make it smaller so that we have this option. If you would like the text to wrap around it, then the best thing to do is to actually just do like a right justify or a left, and it's not working for that at all. It will usually wrap around automatically, but it's not doing it at the moment. So, because it's still thinking. Oh, it's attached to the text. Hang on a sec. That's right. Why is it doing this? Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that right now. So that's it, and it's not wanting to upload the other picture, but that's okay. So that is basically, that's what you're going to be doing when you're trying to just migrate content, is basically just copying and pasting. It works, the formatting works really well. As you can see in this, it works really well, except for the links. And sometimes these YouTube videos comes and sometimes they don't too. There's some interesting quirks that happen. Most of the time they seem to. But it's not a horrible trauma. So, anybody have any questions on that at all? All right. If you have if you're in classes that have very large, like huge amounts of documents and stuff, you can actually go into eCompanion and you can actually go into the files. I think it's in what's in here? I'm starting to lose my eCompanion skills. I don't know where everything is anymore. You go to the file manager, and you can actually grab a bunch of these and, you know, download them all at once. So if you have a whole file of documents and stuff, you can download them all at once, and it'll kind of create a zip, and then you can upload it. That's about as good as it gets. And it doesn't work all that well sometimes. So that's about it. I'm done. Questions? Nope. Good. Good deal. All right.
Yeah. And if there's anything that you all would like something that needs to get anything other than that, let us know.
Yeah, and also you guys are all welcome to all of the trainings are open to everybody. So if there's any other trainings that you're like, woo, I'm really interested in that, you're welcome to come to the other ones as well. These are a little faster and more focused, but but you are welcome to any of them. And there's also free. Friday afternoons are kind of an open help time. So if you are going through stuff and you have questions, you should show up up in the 5th floor of the library and find us up there. So. Yeah.
So the departments have to add those TAs and DAs?
Yeah, technically, I think we might be able to get you.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is this has never been used before ever until now. There's a place in Banner, which is where all the student data and everything goes for classes, for TAs or GAs. And if we get people to put them in there, then it will automatically feed into the system and will be better. It will work better. Right now, nobody's used to doing that, so it's going to be a little bit of a rocky road for a while. So if you need into a class right now, then you can. I guess you have Rachel's email. You can email Rachel, and we'll get you in. Yeah, yeah, and I need to add him. I think I lost that email though, so you may need to send that to me again. My email lost a bunch of stuff. So right now we'll probably add you, but you might want to talk to your departmental, probably the departmental secretaries, and tell them that you need to be added in Banner.